The following video is part of an educational series of meth prevention educational training videos. This video was created and produced by MAPP South Dakota, a project of Prairie View Prevention Services. Production costs for this video were provided by the South Dakota Real Estate Commission.
Hello, I'm Dee Jones-Nordemeyer, Executive Director of the South Dakota Real Estate Commission. If you are considering buying a property, you need to be aware of the possible property contamination problems and even dangers that you and your family may face during the buying of a property. In the next few minutes, you're going to be given some very important information about methamphetamine. You'll learn what meth is and how it can affect you and your family. Meth is closer than you think.
Today is the big day. You've decided to take the plunge and buy a house. Or you've decided that renting a house or apartment is just right for you. How do you find your dream house or apartment? What are you going to be looking for in that perfect home? Do you know about methamphetamine? What is meth and why is meth dangerous to you? Let's say that you unknowingly buy and move into a house that has been contaminated from meth manufacturing. And if the property has not been cleaned up thoroughly and properly, many health risks may present themselves to you and your family. As the owner, you will be responsible for the residual cleanup, easily thousands of dollars. You can't afford to not know about meth. Meth is an illegal, highly addictive synthetic stimulant. It can be smoked, snorted, injected, or taken orally. It affects the brain and the rest of the central nervous system. It has a high potential for abuse. It's easy to get the ingredients and make it. It is sold as a powder, in crystal form, or rock-like chunks. Because every person shows different signs and symptoms of meth use, the following information is not intended to be a checklist, but rather a reference. Dilated pupils, rapid eye movements, and shadows under the eyes. Hypermotor activity. Needle track marks. Strong body odor. Severe nail biting. Dirty, greasy hair and hair loss. Bad breath. Tooth decay or loss. Pale skin, acne, sores, and scabs. Dark circles under the eyes. Extreme weight loss. Nosebleeds, skin disorders around the mouth, impaired cognitive functioning, loss of memory and/or concentration, manic depressive behavior, mood swings. Meth promotes the use of alcohol to combat negative feelings. Meth use also creates an increased potential for violence and abuse. You might notice some of the following symptoms of meth use if you encounter someone who is or has been using: severe depression, anorexia, psychotic behavior, hallucinations, both visual and auditory, paranoia, delusions, suicidal tendencies. As you walk through that potential dream house of yours for the first time, watch for these signs that meth may have been manufactured there. Empty boxes of allergy tablets, pop bottles, unmarked glass jars with unusual liquids in them, rubber tubing, empty containers of engine starter, drain cleaner, gas treatment, paint thinner, reddish stained coffee filters, paper towels, cheesecloth, duct tape, lots of matchbooks, lithium batteries, abandoned coolers, strong unpleasant odors like pet urine coming from the property, or an overwhelming scent of air freshener to mask odors. The tub, toilet, or sink are stained with foul-smelling and unusual dark-colored materials. Stains on the carpets or walls. Signs of chemical or acid burns or spills on floors or counters. Propane tank with bright blue-colored valve. Burn piles outside. Dead or dying vegetation on grounds. Be sure to check the cupboards and closets and do a thorough inspection of the garage and the attic. If the previous owner or tenant was smoking meth, you might see a light bulb wrapped in a sock, razor blades, mirrors, straws, aluminum foil strips, punctured pop cans, all of which can be used for inhaling and smoking meth. If a user was injecting, you might find paraphernalia such as syringes, heated spoons, and surgical tubing. Contamination from the manufacture of meth will affect every corner of a home or apartment, including the walls, draperies, furniture, ceilings, vent and ceiling fans, carpeting, blinds, light fixtures, kitchen appliances, plumbing fixtures, drains, and heating and air conditioning vents. In an apartment building, the contamination can spread from the apartment where the meth was cooked to other apartments and areas of the building through common vents. Most known meth labs have had some sort of cleaning. This can involve getting rid of contaminated carpets and washing all surfaces with a 6% solution of sodium hypochlorite bleach. In homes that are severely contaminated, the walls may have to be stripped down to the studs and completely redone with drywall, plaster, and paint. Costs can run from $5,000 to $25,000, or in some cases, the property must be destroyed. But law enforcement estimates that they find only 1 in 10 labs. What about those homes used as meth labs that are never found by law enforcement? These homes may have been cosmetically cleaned, such as painting, cleaning the carpet, washing down woodwork with regular commercial cleaner. But this kind of cleaning does not get rid of contamination. You as a potential property owner need to be aware of your surroundings. When you enter a house or apartment, look for the signs that meth may have been smoked or cooked there. Talk to the neighbors. Ask if they've noticed any unusual behavior at the property, such as lots of late-night traffic, efforts to cover windows or doors, or any unusual security measures taken. Ask them if they ever saw any lab materials around the property or smelled any strong or unusual odors. If you have suspicions, talk to your real estate professional. You can also call law enforcement to see if there has been any activity at the property. You can make your offer contingent on inspection and a meth drug test. There are many easy-to-use testing kits on the market, most of which are simply a matter of using a wipe on surfaces and then sending it into a lab. You will want to be sure that the test that is done doesn't just tell you yes or no for contamination. You need to know the levels in order to know how much and what kinds of cleanup must be done. The manufacture of meth is a threat to your personal safety. Every pound of meth that is manufactured leaves behind 5 to 6 pounds of toxic waste. This toxic waste may still be present in and around the property you may want to buy. Cooking meth creates hydriodic acid contamination on most surfaces. Both cooking and smoking meth leaves contamination on almost all surfaces. You can be exposed to these toxins and the contamination when you enter the home through inhalation, absorption through personal contact with contaminated objects, ingestion, or from a puncture or scrape. You may encounter someone at the property who has been using meth and is in the tweaking stage, the most dangerous time for a user. How can you stay safe if you do encounter someone you suspect of using meth? Keep your distance. Avoid bright lights. Slow your speech and lower your voice. Explain your actions. Make slow, deliberate movements and keep your hands visible at all times. Avoid upsetting them by arguing with them or demanding that they be silent. Keep the meth user talking. If you enter a home or apartment and see any indications that meth may have been cooked or smoked there, do not confront anyone who may be on the property. Do not touch anything. Leave the property right away and call law enforcement immediately to report what you have seen. You may have heard that the number of meth labs busted has gone down, but that doesn't mean that there aren't still labs out there. Remember, estimates are that only 1 in 10 labs are ever found, and meth could have been cooked in that pretty little house on that quiet street in the middle of town. As a potential buyer or renter, of all the things you need to consider, none can be more important than the health and welfare of you and your family. Methamphetamine contamination poses a real danger and must be taken seriously. Don't be a new homeowner who ends up paying thousands of extra dollars for that dream house and maybe even going bankrupt because your dream house was once used to manufacture meth. And don't be the new renter who ends up with health problems because your landlord didn't know or just didn't tell you that meth was manufactured in your new apartment. Talk to your landlord before you sign that lease or contract. Ask if the apartment has been tested for meth contamination. Do your homework before you buy or rent. In the long run, it will save you dollars and it could keep you healthy. For more information on meth property contamination, remediation, testing, and cleanup guidelines, visit MAPP-SD.org. The video you have just watched is one of a series of meth prevention training videos created and produced by MAPP South Dakota, a project of Prairie View Prevention Services. Production costs for this video were provided by the South Dakota Real Estate Commission.